I'm also kinda judgy.
Yeah.
Like, when I try not to be, but I do catch myself. So
I
maybe I
am
deserve it.
and that's part of the reason why, like, I never tell people I have a podcast. Because if someone said that to me, I'd be like, "Ugh, get this guy away from me."
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Philosophy, the podcast with deep talks and dumb jokes. The beginning of this one got cut off, but my guest today is Philly Matt, my best friend from college. His government name is Matt Boyle. And yeah, hope you enjoy the pod.
But what I was talking about with my friend Oscar is that, like, when you're because we had debatably, like, too much free time in college, and now that, like, he's a harder worker than I am, I gotta pick up my and it even comes to, like, exercising, but especially, like, with a job, like, when you do have a job that you're working hard at, like, you seem to, like, just value your free time a lot more because you have way less of it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also on way more of a schedule now because
Yeah.
I was not on a schedule at all in
Mm.
college. But being on a schedule and like having a routine, at least
Mhm.
for me, has been very beneficial. Just like kind of even getting in the right mindset for work.
Mhm.
Like I'm getting ready to sell my soul for 8 hours and then come back and have like 3 hours of free time.
But one thing that I think you told me before is that, like, you have, like, a way easier time, like, staying in for, like, one of the nights on the weekend because, like, you have been working hard all week, and I think that'll help with the transition from glamour to soul
Yeah.
crushing.
It also is, yeah. I guess I'm it's easier to do boring things now, like watch a movie with my parents or something,
Mhm,
just because I'm like today, I'm pretty hungover today because I went out the last 2 days,
mhm,
and that's like one of my 2 days I have off is
yeah.
shot because 'cause I'm just feeling terrible.
I know. And I definitely do a lot more much more movie watching with my parents, even just, like, spending time with my family. I used to see as, like, lame, but now I really don't mind it, which is probably good. It's just
Yeah.
I enjoy it, like, I played tennis with my dad, I watch a decent amount of movies with them, but, yeah, and I've been trying to, like, accept more of, like, the boring, mundane, ordinary, because I think they are enjoyable, but just, like, everything seems, like, boring compared to, like, going out and drinking with your friends, but you can't do
Yeah.
that all the time, so you gotta find peace with the other things, and they are enjoyable, like, exercise makes me feel better, I love watching a good movie, it still feels, like, lame to do on, like, a weekend night, but I enjoy it, so I don't really it's more of, like, yeah, if you enjoy it, then that's all that matters, I think.
Yeah. Even, like, hiking is so boring, but I
Mhm.
love it.
That is, like, one of my favorite things to do now, and it is literally just, like, walking in the woods.
Yeah.
But it is a great I love it because it's 1, it's outdoors, 2, you can do it with your friends, 3, it's, like, exercise. There's, like, just a there's nothing bad about it in my mind, and you feel great after. Like, that day we
Mhm.
went into, like, Shenandoah and did that, like,
Mhm.
rock water slide, and you just feel like you actually, like, did something with your day,
Yeah.
and
We were
I
at Ernie's that night being like, "These people are all pieces of shit." They didn't know.
they have no idea we did a 40-minute hike. But it's true, like, once and I used to be, like in college, there was, like, a good I was pretty good about going to the gym, and I lost it. I lost
Oh,
it completely. I'm getting it back a little, but I will never have, like, I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I do. I will never have, like, the fire for, like, working out that I did then. I don't even know it was because I was, like, actually genuinely, like, really out of shape in the beginning, going to, like, decent shape, but now I'm like, "I'm good enough. I
yeah.
don't care." Which is partially, like, it's good that I think I'm, like, in good enough shape, but, like, it just I signed up for a half marathon because it was the only way to make me do anything.
Yeah. Wow. When is that?
I'm doing it the weekend before Memorial Day when I come visit you.
Oh, okay.
Because when I first started weightlifting, like I was chasing being able to lift 225, and then I hit that, and then I just stopped caring. So I feel like it's very important to have things to chase. So I gave
Yeah.
myself one.
I've been going to the gym more, but I don't have goals or anything. It's just to like so I don't have to wake up and go right to work. Like I
Yeah.
have time before, which actually I love doing that. I know some like it doesn't work for some people, just
Mhm.
not wired that way. But like I go to bed at probably 10
Mhm.
and wake up at like 5:30.
Mhm.
And having time before work, like having
Yeah.
time in my day before work makes the day so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. I yeah, I went to bed at 10 last night and then I slept in till like 11. I snoozed my alarm for like 3 hours straight. I just I don't know. The bed is so comfy and everything else is just so much work.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna lock in again. I've done it before and I know I'm capable.
Yeah,
It's a
that's surprising.
it's like a winter thing too. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. And it's temporary.
Like it throws you off the winter, or it's more.
Yeah.
Uh,
Everything just seems like so eerie and like scary. And then like if we have like one sunny day after a couple weeks and I'm like, am I gonna be okay? Like I feel so much better when the sun's out. And my roommate, he's weird for this, but he says it's like ideal weather is like cloudy and like 50. And when it's cloudy and 50, I'm just like going through the motions.
yeah.
And it's like studied. Like there's seasonal it's it's kind of really funny that the acronym is like SAD, but it's like seasonal something depression. But it just
That's
means sad.
yeah. That's like that actually hits everyone.
Hmm.
I would guess everyone, but you can like people are angrier in the winter.
I'm one of them. I'm one of the sads. And
So,
my apparently vitamin D is like a pretty easy solution, at least partially.
what do you is that from the sun?
Yeah, because you get vitamin D from the sun, and especially on like the East Coast, like the sun's not visible for half the year, so you still need that.
Yeah.
My dad takes it.
Oh, like supplements?
Yeah, I
Maybe I
have
should try
it. I have it in my cabinet, but I never take it.
that.
I refuse to help myself. You saw Megan and Christian,
Yeah, they were
and
they
so
both and Sophie and Kira.
Aunt, damn, whole gang.
I know.
Did
We're
they come
missing
to
you.
Philly?
Yeah, Christian came down and Megan came up and they stayed at my house. And then we went into the city yesterday.
That's
It
fun.
was so nice. I was like, everything is gonna be all right.
I
Sitting
know.
at a beer garden,
Hmm.
playing Cheers to the Governor.
Beer gardens are fun.
Yeah.
My family likes to go on to one around here. I also, this was like a couple months ago, but I was just like, I don't know. And yeah, like I have my remote job. I have 2 days of like my internship and then classes. And by the end of it, especially in the winter, I'm just like, I'm done. Like I can go at one night, but like it does feel like I'm in the real world and it's less fun.
Yeah.
But I was going through that like over and like weeks on end, and then my friends from my hometown visited, and it was just like a fucking like breath of fresh air. And it really, I'm not someone who like really, I don't know. I've always like kind of had friends, so I never really realized how much like I need them, and I like spending time with them. But like moving here, I pretty much knew no one, so when they came, I was like, I like that. I should do that more.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds kind of very intimidating.
because I love the area here, and I have some good roommates, but they're just like a couple years younger, and I do, and it's good in some ways, and it's not in some ways. But I'm just like I've always had like a core friend group, and here you remember how like Dugan would kind of just always like he'd like do a bunch of different things with a bunch of different people.
Yeah. That was yeah.
I'm doing like more of that, and it's not bad. You have like more freedom in like choosing what you want to do and when, but I miss my friends.
Yeah, definitely benefits to doing both things. I wish I was more like that, but I'm not at all.
I know. I always and I like I wanted to be like this for a long time, and it is like early. I've only been here for a couple months, but there's something nice just knowing about like your weekend plans are like made just because like
Mhm.
your friend group is always doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We always throughout my life, I don't know why this happens, but I wonder if it's like a me thing. I've always like had a friend group, like a mix of guys and girls, where I know like a bunch of guys that like only hang out with guys.
Yeah. I I think I'm more of what I know is a mix, I would say. But
And I
it's
think I like the mix, but it's like the saying, no matter where you go, there you are. Like I went from JMU and I thought like I might you think like you move somewhere and you might be like a completely different person, but it's like no. You end
yeah.
up forming the same exact like habits, whether it's like friend group who you hang out with, what you do, and it's interesting.
Yeah. One thing that like my friend group that from high school, I guess, has been doing is like in high school it'd be like rigid, like this is our group.
Mhm.
Now everyone just kind of invites people
Mhm.
and it's like pretty loose at this point, which is so much better. I like that a lot better.
Me too. Yeah, I've always hated like rigidity, and I've always liked this is I don't even think this is true. Like I've always liked inclusivity. That's gonna go on my gravestone. But I agree, like why can't like everyone have fun? And I think most people are like cool people. Like the only
Yeah.
people I think that like I don't want to hang out with are like the people who like are exclusive.
Mhm.
And it's happened to me. I joined a club here and it happened over the summer. Like people are always trying to like form a cool kids group and I'm at the point where I'm like I genuinely like leave me out. I don't like the rigidity and like cuz those people are the worst people. They're always like making fun of other people rather than just like having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And yeah, I something that I think is a big part of like this stage of our lives is like there's no like and I have a little bit of one because I'm in school, but it's not like I'm in college. Like, because high school, like, it was like you see the same group of people every day, college, same thing. But now it's like you have a lot more freedom in who you see. And sometimes I miss, like, no, I don't. I actually really like it because you can kind of just like be whoever you want to be. And it becomes like very clear that like it really doesn't matter what other people think of you, especially when you don't have to see them every day. And then you can just I'm working on letting my freak flag fly.
Yeah. I it is hard to do. I listened to your like mini pod about it.
Mhm.
It is like it's almost it feels innate to like want other people to like you.
Yeah, and
I definitely sorry.
I think it is, but go ahead.
I definitely like I wouldn't say struggle with it, but that's definitely something that's on my mind. And
Mhm.
then I'll do something that's like non-conforming
Yeah.
and I'll be like that was fun, but
Mm.
like if I saw someone do that, I'd think I'm also kind of judgy.
Yeah.
Like when I try not to be, but I do catch myself. So
I
maybe I
am
deserve it.
And that's part of the reason why, like, I never tell people I have a podcast, because if someone said that to me, I'd be like, "Ugh, get this guy away from me." And I'm working on, like, I got like, you gotta assume the bet. And I remember you were dead right, but in college one time, I was, like, hating on, like, Apple Watches because they just, like, irk me, and you're like, "You're a hater." And I'm like, "I know I am, and I'm trying to get better."
I hate Apple Watches.
I do too. On girls, they're okay, but I see a guy with one, and I don't really like it at all.
Yeah, it looks like a toy.
My my dad has one with, like, my mom's old, like, band on it, and it straight up looks like a woman's Apple Watch, and I'm just I love them though. My dad listens to the pod, and my mom's starting to listen too. But yeah, becoming less of a hater is big for me. And
Yeah,
like, because they're really, and I talked about this with Drew, but it's like things, some things are like you can't help but cringe, but I'm trying to like second guess that. Cause like, also like my mom, one time I was talking to my mom about something similar to this, and she's like, I love corny. Like sometimes I'd watch a movie, I'd be like, ah, this is corny, I don't like it. But like if you like can learn to love corny, then it goes a long way. And it's kind of the same thing with like cringe, but like because corny is like heartwarming, and cringe people are often the people who like aren't afraid to be themselves, and they're having like more fun than anyone else. Like
yeah.
I went to a bar this past weekend, and I was just like I wasn't I was like barely I didn't even drink, but like just being in the bar, you kind of just have the freedom to like be weird because people are like, "Oh, he's just drunk," but I wasn't. And I was just being like insane, and it is a lot of fun. And if you think about it that way, it's like the only thing preventing you from doing that is just like you need the excuse of being drunk because you feel like you're going to get judged if you're not. Just kind of annoying.
Yeah, it is. Doesn't make it easy to do insane things.
I know. I kept like hitting this kid I didn't know and like telling him to do a dance move. It was very fun.
But also, I have the same thing with like corniness.
Hmm.
Like once I even get a hint of something or someone really being corny, I can't get it out of my head and it ruins everything for me.
What, you just like can't be around it anymore?
It's not like it's unbearable, but it's like I see it in everything that like if I'm watching a show, I'll see it in every scene after that. Or if
Yeah.
it's someone, it's like everything they say, I'm like, what the hell? But
I
corny people are awesome.
yeah. And
They are
I
more genuine.
way more. And I genuinely this is another way where it feels like I'm making progress, but it doesn't feel like it. Cause I used to like constantly be like that's corny, but I really like never say that anymore, which is definitely progress.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of my roommates, he's one I don't even know if it's corny. The word I'd use is like wholesome, but it's I love it because it's like innocent and like people grow up and they just like hate on everything.
Mhm.
This kid's like the most positive kid I've ever met. He doesn't really like hate on much. He's always just like finding the positive. One time we were going skiing, he like hit his head really hard. He's like, I don't even care. Look at where we are. And I was like, you are amazing. I love you.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was crazy, but it's true. Like I don't know if it's true. It's like a glass half full of water. It's like, and I think being positive, it's very like in high school I was probably an extremely negative person in beginning of college, and that's probably a big part of like what I changed. And it took a long time to start like trying to be positive, but
Yeah,
and I still I'm definitely less negative, but I also like I like being I noticed that I love being around positive people, and I hate being around someone who's just like a negative Nancy.
yeah.
One
That's
time
also sorry.
one time I went skiing with this kid and he was like, my head hurts, like my ankle kind of feels off, and I wanted to like push him off the chairlift. I was like, I'm having a good day, and you're like you're like, what's that boat? You're like, you're taking water from my bucket right now. What are you gonna say?
That's kind of not sure if we talked about this earlier. I feel like we did. Like being lucky. Like I feel like I'm a lucky guy, but I'm not. It's just the way that you look at it. Like noticing the good things. This is kind of sounding like I'm hyping myself up, and it's not what I was
Go
intending to do.
ahead. You
But
deserve it.
like just noticing the things that are good and like holding on to them more than or noticing things that are bad that happen to you.
Mhm.
Like kind of just changes your entire outlook, and it makes it easier to be like noticing, like continuing to notice them. And I also it does make it feel like it happens more often when you notice it.
Yeah. And I watched a podcast. Her direct thing was like, ask someone if they think they're a lucky person, and it'll tell you like a lot about. And it's kind of goes back to like the hero victim thing,
Mhm.
but it's not. It's also different than that because like yeah, like you said, it's like more like the red car theory. Like when you notice a red car, like you'll start to see them everywhere, and it's like when you start to like pay attention to the good things happening to you, you'll see them everywhere. And it is I think it makes a massive difference. Another thing that I don't know if I'll ever get to this point, maybe I will. I think I will, maybe. But like they say to be like you should be very intentional about like who you spend your time around, and I'm definitely not there yet.
Yeah.
I've made a little progress, but it seems like wild to me to just like cut someone off.
Yeah. Even like yeah. None of my friends are people that I'd be like, I want to be exactly like you. And I don't think they would do that to me either.
Yeah.
But I kind of like us like the makeup of the group, I'd guess, because we're all different.
Mhm.
Unlike any group.
And that's still something I'm grappling with. It's like there's always going to be things you don't like want, like people are different, you'd like,
Yeah.
and you don't like have to be the same as someone to like be friends with them, because
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll love like 9 out of 10 things about someone, and then they'll do one thing I don't like, and I'm like, should I cut them? But it's you gotta like weigh it rather than a fucking like this is
Yeah.
actually pretty funny. I don't think I've talked about this ever. When I was in 7th grade, I I had like this best friend and then this other friend we were both like really good friends with, but he was a dick. And I genuinely like this person, and we one day we were like, and he was like bigger than us by a lot. So one day, me and the other kid, we like went into the library before school and like we crafted a text. We're like, we're not your friend anymore. And then, and then we just like waited for the bell to ring and we like scurried into homeroom. But it was such like it was so like dramatic, but that it genuinely like was a good decision because that kid sucked. I I'm trying to be better, and he was probably going through his own stuff, but that kid sucked. Like he was a dick. We'd like sit at the lunch table and like I'd tell a joke like kind of just to him, and then he'd like look to the other side of the table and he'd retell my joke.
Oh no. He
I
deserved it.
Yeah. And genuinely I do not regret cutting that kid off at all. But then I was like, I'm feeling hot off that one. And then, like, another one of my best friends who's like a dope guy, I asked him to like hang out on like a Friday, and we didn't like have much to do when we were in like middle school. I was like, want to
Mhm.
come to my brother's lacrosse game? And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, well, I don't want the kind of friend that doesn't want to hang out with me. And I cut him off. And then in the next Monday, he's like, is that for real or like can we be friends again? I was like, we can be friends again. And then a month later, I cut him off again. And he was such like a good guy. And then a week later, after I cut him off the second time, I was like, can we be friends again? He was like, no. And I honest like it was an important lesson for me because I don't blame him at all. It's like fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, like can't put the blame on you. But and it was genuine. Like if he forgave me, I probably would have like kept doing it. But it was because of that kid I learned my lesson. But that like I always loved that kid, and I was always regretful of that. But I'm glad I learned that lesson,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning it a bit with like the weighing the pros and the cons. And my another thing that like I used to be friends with someone and like we like just become close and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I've known that kid forever." And they'd like weigh that heavily into like how like much they care about that person. And for me, when I was a naive little idiot, I was like, that doesn't matter at all. Like we have way more fun. But I think it does like when you've been through things and I'm not really close with like my day ones anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have friends from like high school, more like from my camp in the time I was in high school, and I have friends from high school that like yeah, it's like once you've been through enough with someone that if they do like one thing that's like a deal breaker, I think it's more of like a three strike policy.
Yeah. That yeah. I definitely weigh that. Like that takes probably precedence for me. How
Mm-hmm.
long I've known someone into like how much or I guess how important they are to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not even how long I've known someone, but like the amount of shit that we've been through, which usually correlates with how long you've known someone.
And I also something I realized when I came here, it's like I kind of want to get my like shit together. But like if I get my shit together, like my friends here are just gonna like see me as this like normal guy, which should just be like a complete lie. Like I want to get my shit together and like still hang out with the people like you and our friend group from college because like you guys like we had our crazy years together, and that's like something that you just like because I feel like if you don't have like crazy years together, then it's just like, what are you gonna like small talk your way through the rest of your life?
Yeah.
It's like when like wives are good friends and then their husbands like hang out and they're just kind of like casuals.
Terrible.
I know that's like my biggest fear.
You just have to hang out with this dude all the time.
That you like, and it doesn't even seem like they make an effort to like really get to know you. Maybe it's like you just don't like the guy.
Yeah.
I do you feel like you know where your life's headed?
No.
Yeah, I feel like I have no idea.
I think about my future too much.
That's another thing I'm definitely getting better at. I used to like drive myself crazy. I was like, where am I going to live after grad school? But now I put zero thought into it. Probably more of like a balance, but it's so much better on this side of the coin.
Yeah.
Cuz like something could happen like right before school ends that changes everything. It's like a Mark Twain thing. It's like a lot of us worry about things that never end up happening, and it's just a complete waste of time.
Yeah. That I genuinely have no idea where my life is going and I think about it all the time. Like at work, just
Mhm.
all the time really. And it like makes me anxious because I'd like to have some idea at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do like I want to end up where I am, but I don't want to stay where I am.
Wait, you want to leave soon and then come back?
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't even know who I am.
I think I'm very glad I left my like Boston for college and again because I you kind of like come to appreciate what you like about where you grow up, and you've always seemed to be fond of Philly, but like when I was
Mhm.
in high school and I did kind of grow up in like a bubble, I'm very glad I got out so I could see like the bright side of like where I grew up because the mind it seems to always focus on the negative, but when you go somewhere else you tend to be able to see the positive.
Mhm.
Remember when we planned we were gonna move to Hawaii together after college, freshman
I
year?
was I was laughing at you and Drew talking about it.
That makes me like very sad to think about. Not that it was like a solid plan, but I like when we were making that pact, I was like all in.
Yeah. That was
And
probably like month 2 of us knowing.
but I was all in and then just I don't know what happened. Life happened.
Yeah. I I was all in, and then I kinda thought it was gonna happen all of freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
then,
was still down.
yeah.
But I went that's a stretch. I wasn't like end of senior year, like I hope we're still going to Hawaii.
I
I did
actually don't think I could live there, though. That's so, like, isolated, and that's like, you live in a cooler spot, I think.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat Hawaii, but
But Hawaii, yeah. This compared to Hawaii, I've never even been. But like Hawaii is like maybe the one place where I could give up everyone I've ever met just to, like and it's not true. I'd get there and I'd be like, what do I do? But just like cliff jumping, surfing. They say like their island is just like getting ruined and all commercialized, but I'm sure you could find some good spots.
yeah, yeah.
I'd love to get into surfing one day. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
That would be so cool. That, like, also the type of guy that surfs is, like, who you wanna be, or who I wanna be.
Yeah, like the chill that not a lot of things more chill than surfing.
Yeah,
Apparently you can do it on the East Coast, but it's just everything on the East Coast is a lot more like gritty.
yeah, like
Like you're
skiing
not
too.
yeah. That was the other one I was thinking of. It's like it's way better other place, but you can do it here.
Yeah, that's for most things.
And my brother said he loves the grittiness, which I it's entered my mind and I'm still mulling it over. I definitely do like the grittiness, but it doesn't mean you have to like I'm still gritty, but I came out here and still have I have like the better conditions. But I don't know. I don't know anything.
I hate the grittiness. I don't
Well,
hate it. I've only faced the grittiness.
huh?
I've only skied,
Yeah,
um, on those mountains.
yeah. And have you like been up to like New England and skied?
No, only the Poconos, I think.
That is gritty.
I think that if I skied anywhere else, I would ruin the Poconos forever for me.
You might. And you see like people who like me and my brother came out here and I don't even know what this says about anything, but like we were skiing and the people on the mountain like it just like it looked like I don't know, they had no idea what they were doing. They were like sliding down the mountain and I was like just felt so foreign to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like most of the skiers at like on the East Coast mountains have actually like been skiing a while. It's not just like their first day and they've paid $500 to do it that day.
Mhm.
But if you if you skied at another mountain, you might hate the poke. You wouldn't hate the Poconos forever, but it would change things. It would turn
I
things.
already don't love it. Just because, like, knowing that there's better ones out there, I'm like, "Fuck you, stupid girl."
I know the views out here are very nice. And you're gonna come ski out here, and we'll hash through it together.
Then I'll never go back.
Fuck the Poconos. Poconos is a nice little town, though. Besides that, people who got murdered.
Yeah.
Was that close to us when we were in your house?
Like 15 minutes. Just kinda crazy. I think the Poconos is, like, a huge area.
And I don't know what it is, but like I'll hear that and I still like it doesn't just like it just doesn't feel real to me, so I like would never be scared because the girls are like lock the door and I'm
We never locked the door. I was like, "Alright, they caught him. We're good."
like yeah, if any killer tries to kill me, it's gonna be a easy like getting to me and then we'll see what happens. You're probably gonna like catch me sleep, but I'm a very light sleeper because I'm such a anxious fuck. Like if someone walks in my room, I'll be like, they'll, they'll have a gun, but I'll be like, but even like I kind of just like block it out mentally. Like for the listeners, it was we were staying in a ski house and someone got like murdered like 15 minutes from where we were staying. But I still like would not lock the door. One because it doesn't feel real.
I don't know what you're talking about, actually. I thought you were talking about something else.
Didn't someone get murdered in the Poconos
They
near the
caught the guy that killed the college students?
Yeah.
Yeah, they caught him there, right?
Oh, but he didn't do his work there?
No. But, yeah. We were there when they caught him.
We were there?
I was there. I don't think that was when you were there.
That is terrifying. But it just I hear something like that and it just doesn't even feel real, so I don't adapt.
Yeah. It's like that happens with a lot of other things in my life too.
I know, I don't want to take it to like a dark place, but here we go. Like I like I've heard like my grandma like just got sick and I feel like it does like no impact on me because I don't even like let it in. And there was another one of my family friends had like died when I was home and it just like it has to be like real for like a week or more for it to like weigh on me because I feel like I just block it out.
Yeah. I still haven't processed graduating college.
Yeah. That one didn't I'm past that, but I don't know.
Like it just doesn't feel real. I don't know. None of college actually felt real at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to it feels weird that like that was just like that blip compared to like the rest of life.
Uh-huh.
We had like unlimited freedom. But I think we did it well. We got a bunch of good stories, which in my mind, it's like, what else could you really want? We got good friends and good stories,
Yeah. That is true.
but it is hard to move on. When I first got here, it took me like months to even like, I'd been here for like 3 months, and like someone said to me, "He's like, you live in Colorado?" I was like, "No, I don't," and I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, that is crazy.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, like, I'm in school. I'm like I guess I have some sort of plan, but it feels like I'm just like bouncing around.
Yeah. Do you want to go back to Boston when you graduate?
I'm starting to think I do. And kind of for like what I said, like even JMU people are all East Coast. And not that it's like hard to like get like it's a 4 hour like yesterday morning I was in Boston and then a couple hours later I'm back here. But I don't know. The people are very different. I I think everyone like likes what they're used to. Because I was talking to this kid from California. He's like, yeah, people are fake on the West Coast, but like I hate Boston. I'm like, bro, like you like fake, but I think genuinely like, people are just like more comfortable like in what they're used to, which is partially why I value like exploring, but I think it'll just make it that much sweeter when you come home,
Yeah.
hopefully.
You know what you're missing. I have a better idea of what you're missing.
Yeah. But and there were some people that like think, could you ever live in another country?
Yeah, I think I could. I don't know how Europe works. Do they all speak English?
Sort of. Most of them in place we went to like the Netherlands and pretty much like I in Belgium it was like it felt like we weren't even abroad like not that it didn't feel like we were abroad but like everyone spoke English so it wasn't like that weird but like and I think that's most Europeans can speak at least a little English but it's not like imagine us like speaking a different language and coming to America and you genuinely like someone like came up to me and started speaking Chinese I'd be like I don't I'd whip out the translate app.
Yeah. I think people are have a pretty basic understanding of like Spanish here.
But it's definitely above that in Europe for English.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It is pretty much like English plus whatever language they actually speak. I don't even I don't know why that is. I don't really think it's an America thing. But it does feel like we would just like refuse to learn another language.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think I could live in another country, but I don't really know if I would want to anymore.
What do you mean you could? Like,
I think I could survive, but and I don't know. America has a lot of problems and it does make Europe look pretty nice, but
yeah, I don't know. Definitely have a lot of problems. I kind of just assume that's with everywhere though, which actually is not true, right?
I
But
think it's particularly bad right now.
yeah.
There was this British girl who came to like DU through like an exchange, and I was like, we were talking about just like the difference between England and here, and I was like, what do you like? I was like, do you like it here? She's like, yeah. And then I was like, what do you like about it? She's like, you guys always say like bless you when someone sneezes. And I was like, that's it.
That is crazy.
And she kind of was like, yeah. Like everything else is better than England besides we consistently say bless you.
Doesn't the food there suck?
They eat weird food. They eat like beans on toast. That's enough to keep me here. My roommate is British and
Does he have an accent?
he says bean instead of bin and like a couple other words like that, but not really. He showed us a video when he was like 9 or 10, of, like a video when he had an accent, and I was like, "You're lucky you don't still speak."
Come correct when you're talking to us.
I know. I don't even know what I meant by it, but
That's funny.
I do like girls with British accents. I'd probably still be scared to talk to them, but I do. I fancy the accent.
That's White Lotus has a couple of those.
Are you watching it? My mom won't stop talking about it. I watched the first season and it was all right, but
Yeah, I'm watching it. The first season, I it's crazy. The shit. I mean, all the seasons are crazy. Like just random shit's happening.
mhm.
I was talking to Christian about it. This probably won't mean anything to you since you're not watching it, but it's funny, and the listeners might know. Christian is convinced that the monkeys are gonna kill someone.
Are they just like normal monkeys in the environment?
He's kind of got me convinced too.
What is his argue point? I don't even know what it's talking about, but is they're just on an island, right? It's like a resort.
Yeah. Um, I think they're in Thailand for this one.
That's
It
fun.
like switches the location each season.
I liked that the lady in the first season. She got so famous off that with like the one who's just kind of like a bitch with like the weird face. She's blonde.
Sydney Sweeney.
No, the old one, the really old one.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge.
I think so. Yeah.
It was big before that.
Oh, really?
She's in season 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember it at all. My memory in general is pretty bad.
Yeah. Mine is mine is for some things. Some things I'll remember like a really insane minute minute detail.
One thing I'm curious about is like, you know how people say like your beliefs like inform, like if you say you have a bad memory, then you'll just like have a bad memory. Like I never really trust mine, but I've started kind of more to be like, no, that didn't happen. I know it happened, and I feel like now my memory's a little better.
Really?
Like if you say like I'm bad at math, and my mom always says this, and I'm like, you maybe you're not great, but like saying you're bad at math definitely like because every time math comes around, she's like, ah. And I like did business because I was like good at math, and these days like if someone will like basic problems will come up like people are like what's 8 times like 4, and I'll just have like no idea.
Hmm.
I want 32. But there's other examples where it just I think it's like a muscle. If like you don't use it, then it just like
Yeah.
gets weak and it dies.
My dad's a big believer in that too.
And honestly, I can there's some times where I'm like, "Oh my God, what is happening to me?" But there's other times where I'm just like I don't do a lot of math anymore, and honestly, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I do feel like it's hard now that I'm not in a learning environment
Mhm.
to not like I feel like I have to work and spend time like to learn stuff, which is kind of hard to do.
But I think most things that are like worthwhile, you have to like learn.
Yeah.
I have a guitar, can you see it? Sitting in
Yeah.
the, that I played a little bit over the summer, but I'm kind of at the point where if something takes a lot of effort, I don't do it, which I'm trying to get past.
I've been learning guitar too.
No way.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's all right. There's like 5 songs I know,
Are
but
they like easy ones?
yeah. It's so aggravating. I don't know if you've had the same experience, but
Mhm.
it's so aggravating.
I love like when I'm doing like a new song. I could play that one. I think it's like I'd come back if you just call. Maybe
Oh
that.
yeah, Jersey Giant.
Yeah. I could play that one. I'm like, this is awesome. But then like after a while, like I just you get bored of it. And then when there's no like easiest next song, that's when I get pissed.
Yeah.
But playing a new song, like I could play Wagon Wheel very slowly, and that was
Mhm.
beautiful. But yeah, if you get to the point where like you can just like rip Zach Bryan songs, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
It's so like I'll listen to a song and I'm like, "Oh, I should learn this." And then I
Mhm.
try to learn it. And if I'm not like getting anywhere in the first 10 minutes, I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, there is definitely like progression. Like some songs are a lot easier than others. I found
Yeah.
this website I can send you that like ranked like easy guitar songs and it had the notes.
I use one that has the notes for it. It might be the same one.
What's it called? I probably saw the bookmark even though I don't play.
Ultimate Guitar.
Yeah, that's the one I use. But that way, I feel like if you and it's kind of like anything, you just got to be like consistent for a very long time.
Yeah. They say like everyone I've seen, I also like watch videos on songs sometimes,
Yeah.
but everyone's like 90% of the people, I'm making up that number. I don't know what it is, but 90% of the people quit within the first year.
Hmm.
And I'm like trying to get to 1 year of doing it just so I'm not in there, but I'm at like 3 months and I'm getting sick of it.
Power through. They do it like even with like relationships, like at the point where you get to like over a year, like it starts to suck and you just gotta push through it. Which seems so like whack to me. And because my mentality is kind of like cutting off my friend. It's like if I have a relationship I have to push through, then fuck
Yeah.
this.
That's not even pushing through. That's like the rest of your life.
But they say it gets better.
Oh.
You just gotta have faith, baby. But that's interesting you bring that up because it said like a lot of podcasts don't make it to like 10 episodes. And this has made it to like, I don't even know. We're almost at like probably 20 now.
Wow.
And I feel like it is, the beginning is like the hardest. And there is still points where you kind of got to push through.
I thought you stopped at one point. There was like one
Definite.
period where some didn't come out.
This January, I didn't do a single one because I got one hate comment. But if
Who
you
was
listen to the one after that, I was proud of that episode because I just spent the whole episode like making fun of that kid.
I didn't listen to like the two after that.
Listen, yeah, if you listen to it, listen to the first one after that. I loved that episode.
All right, I will.
And it kind of gets back to what we were talking about. It's like I had like probably 10, 15 people tell me like they loved the podcast, and then I got one comment on like a TikTok video I put out that was like they were like they should limit the people putting out podcasts, and I took a whole like month off. But that next episode I came at him hard after taking a month to let it marinate.
You should post it on TikTok and tag them.
I do. I don't even know if I did clips for that one, but that was a good fucking episode. It was a funny one. And that it comes down to like I think like yeah, like learning things like takes a lot of effort. That's why I think like you got to find what you actually like want to do. Like guitar would be cool, but like this, I don't know. I like doing this podcast a lot more than I would like playing the guitar. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the man, I feel like I just recycle the same fucking garbage quotes at this point. But the man who likes to walk will walk farther than the man who is walking somewhere. John Lennon.
Yeah. I do enjoy it because like the songs I learn are the songs I like.
Mm-hmm. And I forget if I really like enjoyed it while I was playing it. It kind of still felt like work to me. And if I get to that point, I'm just like, I'm fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm taking a break from it right now because it was feeling worky, but
And maybe another thing is like, there was a period where I would like run through books when I was just doing like a chapter a day. But like when you try to bite off more than you can chew, that's when it becomes like you lose the consistency pretty quick.
yeah. It's at one point I was doing it like for 2 hours every day, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
I feel like
I
it's half hour or hour or 45 minutes.
It was kind of crazy. I would like start and then I'd not want to stop.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a
I'm not
good
bad,
sign.
but
It's probably a sign that you were just biting off more than you could chew. I bet if you just did an hour a day you'd keep cooking.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
fun though.
And I was thinking like at one point I was like I need to learn an instrument just because like I want to like be a guy who knows an instrument. And I was like
Mhm.
wondering if it was like more for me or like other people. And I think it depends on like enjoyment. Like I right before I was like I just want to learn a instrument and I wanted to learn the piano and I let other people talk me into learning the guitar, which is they're like, "Oh, it's more portable. You can like play in front of people." But I like the piano is very like vulnerable and like raw and like it I love the sound of
Yeah, that's my brother wants to learn the piano and he has a guitar.
it. He should get on the pod and we'll figure it out.
You guys are in the same boat. You both own guitars and want to play the piano.
That's pretty niche. Probably not a lot of people can say that. Cause yeah, I'm looking at that thing. I don't think I'll ever like learn it. Like someone came over and was like playing it. She's like, "This thing is way out of tune." I'm like, "Yeah, that thing's like just collecting dust over there."
That's funny.
And I think, especially with this podcast, I feel like and just in life in general, like you got to keep doing new stuff or it'll just get boring.
Yeah. That's kinda what I was meaning, like, just gotta keep learning shit.
Yeah. And like the half marathon is like another one of like the stereotypes. Like someone tell, oh, you're running a half marathon, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But I need something to chase. And I would respect someone who does like a full marathon. Like when Dave said that, we were like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And it
I
does
would
seem like anyone can do it. It's just like a lot of hard work.
yeah, I don't know if I could do that because of the amount of work that goes into that.
I think I can do it. If I'm like chasing something, hopefully. We'll see. It's pretty cool though. You get to like run through I think the Denver football stadium during it.
Really?
Pretty cool. The
That
Broncos.
is cool.
Yeah, I needed something to chase.
Yeah, I definitely like, my one hobby right now is guitar,
Hmm.
but I wanna be more well-rounded, I guess. Like, I need also, in the winter, you can't really do anything
Hmm.
except ski,
Yeah,
but that's not
learn guitar.
Yeah.
I think the way you get more well-rounded is like I think it's better to like focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be like 2 hours to learn the guitar, like another hour to learn how to knit. Like you gotta pick one, because then after a while you just know the guitar, and then you can like move on to the next thing. And that's kind of how I was feeling with like weightlifting. I was like, I feel like I did that. I need something new. And if you
Yeah.
just keep like doing those over and over again, then it's definitely by the time you get to like, what's going on with me? By the time you get to like 30, then you'll definitely be like a well-rounded person.
Yeah, that's true. I need a hobby that I can do while watching TV because that's my favorite thing to do.
I know. My brother, and he's kind of a I don't know, outlier, exception for this. But it's like I genuinely I fucking love TV. Like there's not a lot of things I like than just like watching a good movie.
Mhm.
And he's like, I don't own a TV. I don't have a TV. And it's like the whole mentality of like the Lamborghini doesn't advertise on TV because the people who have Lamborghinis aren't sitting on the fucking couch. But it's like I'd rather watch TV than have a Lamborghini
Yeah.
in the long.
It's like a tough would you rather. Would you rather have a Lambo or never Actually, it's not even tough. I would rather not have a Lambo.
Yeah, I don't like giving up TV for the rest of time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do. And I think that's a part of like growing up and accepting the and like my car does what I need it to do.
Yeah.
Not be flashy, might not be fast, reliable. And I'd like to have a nice car one day, but I'm team TV.
I don't even think I'd want a sports car, but would want like a big Jeep type car or something like that. 4Runner.
That's what my brother's dream car, and it's a lot of people out here's dream car. It's very versatile, it seems, for like the outdoorsy kind of thing. I don't even know what I want. I'd kind of want a sports car.
I think my dad's gonna get one.
No way.
I don't know if he actually would. He's been talking about it a lot.
That feels like a
He
dilemma.
wants one. I can't see him in a sports car though.
Which one?
He doesn't know. He wants to be that kind of guy.
They say that's like the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Your dad's got a good life, but if he buys a sports car, people are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm worried about him."
Yeah, I'd be worried about him. What is You okay?
I know. I'd also like I would need to like test drive one before I bought one because I feel like if it gets boring, like I do like to drive fast, but my car goes like plenty fast when I like want to do the whole weaving thing on the highway.
Never had the problem that my car was not going fast enough.
No, it's definitely more of like a look thing, which is kind of a red flag.
Yeah. They do look cool though.
Yeah. At the as long as like you can afford it, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But also just like that or paying for like a vacation. And
Rather like
that car would probably be like 10 vacations.
yeah. It really would. Yeah. I'd actually never would get a sports car, I don't think.
I'm not in the boat to judge anybody. I definitely have the desire to have like one nice car. Not even like sport. I respect that more than like watches. Like you can have a nice watch, but a lot of people spend like millions of dollars on them.
Mhm. I also don't know like which ones are nice. I just see a watch. Some people are like that's fake. Yeah, that's the face I make every time.
Nice watch. But yeah. There's a new way I think I want to wrap up, and you're going to be the first one to do it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
'Cause I kept asking people, like, what would you say to your younger self? Which is kind of, I don't know. The answers are all generic. but and they're, but the name is Philosophy, but it also could be like, Phil. Oh, so funny. The new way for the guest is going to be like, the guest has to say Phil, oh, so funny, in whatever way they want. But it has to be like convincing and very good.
Let me get into character. Wait, are you Phil?
Yeah, if you want me to be Phil, but you can do like a lot with it. You could be like Phil, ooh, so funny.
All right. All right. Oh, this is a lot of pressure being the first one.
But it'll be special.
All right. It's Phil. Oh, so funny.
Yeah,
Phil. Oh, so funny.
that was good.
That was terrible.
Yeah, not great. Do another one. Get more
I don't want to
creative.
do another one.
Okay. Thank you for coming on, Philly.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you in what, 8 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly, but
Thank you for the listeners for listening. Rate it, thumbs up, 5-star, subscribe. Thank you for listening to Philosophy.